Okay, so let's just start with Logic Apps, and this is the introduction. I'm assuming like everyone has worked on Azure and they are familiar with the Azure App Service terms. So here we know like Azure App Service is the new, it's a powerful cloud application, which is a fully managed platform. It is a PaaS offering from Microsoft, and it consists of four important components. Four important services and features you can say. One is your web apps, then mobile apps, which web apps is already covered in the previous sessions. Mobile apps is also there where you can build your mobile for any devices. And then this is of our interest, like Logic Apps and API apps. So Logic Apps is again a Microsoft iPaaS offering. Once we say iPaaS, it stands for Integration Platform as a Services, and it is a very simple and simplify and powerful platform for the integration, where we can automate your business process. We can connect to SaaS application on premises, and we can connect almost everything. So this is what the introduction is for Logic Apps, and we also have API apps. So API apps will be used along with your Logic Apps, where you can do some API management. Like suppose different vendors are there and they have some request from your mobile or web applications. So in that particular, we can use API apps, and it will have also a management thing called as API management. So this is a very high level overview about your Azure App Services and where your Logic Apps fits in this particular picture. So do you have any questions?
No, Rajiv.
Yeah. Okay. So this is Preyash here. Am I audible?
Yeah. Now you're. Yeah. You want to put some inputs, Preyash? You can.
Yeah. Sure. Thanks, Rajiv. So with this Logic Apps, we have some announcement in the Microsoft Azure Ignite. So definitely in upcoming sessions, we'll be covering about the Logic Apps, the happenings of Logic Apps into the Ignite. So we are planning to have the continuous mini sessions to discuss about the many features or the many things which we have in Logic Apps. So we'll be having exclusive sessions for Logic Apps. Thanks to Rajiv. Please continue.
Okay, sure. So okay, I'm moving to the next slide. So you can see my screen?
Yes, we can. Please continue.
Yeah. Okay. So this is our session objective and takeaways. Our objective is to get started with your Logic Apps. We will discuss about the features, roadmaps, and then we'll have a demo as well. So after this session, you should be aware of what is Logic Apps, what feature it has, limitations and all, and you should be able to do a demo using your Logic Apps. So this is our session objective and takeaways. So
yeah, Rajiv, sorry for interrupting. I believe a few of the attendees, they are eagerly asking that whether this session is for experienced people or this is for the who want to start from zero.
Yeah, it is for the beginners. We are targeting beginners who doesn't have any exposure to integration and all. So we'll cover the fundamental things, and then in the next session we will jump to the advanced topics and all. So feel free to stop us.
Rajiv, yes, give me a minute just to add it. So just to say that our objective of having all the session is not the matter of Azure Logic Apps, but entire session or entire Azure development group which we are having in Telegram. Our objective is to teach each and everything from the beginners. So it's not the matter of whether they are the expert or the integration expert or they are expert in Azure. So we are always targeting the beginners. Definitely we are trying to make a beginners to transform into an expert. So this is the input which we have for all the sessions. So as the Rajiv told that multiple sessions we have conducted till now, 7 conducted sessions we have conducted. So it will really good. I would really appreciate each and everyone to go ahead and see our channel where they can get more details about the Azure web app or the app services or the managed services or the private cloud, multiple and the hybrid cloud, public cloud. So go ahead and please see everything. That will really help us. Thanks, Rajiv. Sorry for interrupting you.
No problem. So okay, so this is your picture where we are saying this is a Microsoft integration platform and where Logic Apps fit into. Now for as Amit pointed out, now here we are assuming like you know about BizTalk server. What is BizTalk server, right? So just for if someone is not aware, BizTalk server is an integration platform from Microsoft. Like we have other integration platform also like MuleSoft, TIBCO, IBM and all. So from Microsoft, it is a BizTalk server. It is a on-premises uh, integration thing. So here we are talking about what are the major integration platform Microsoft has and what we'll be using. So BizTalk server is the first thing, on-premises thing, which is used to integrate your on-premises LOB objects and also your SaaS application. Just for the introduction, it also automates your critical processes and it supports multiple Microsoft platform for integration. Now coming to the next point, which is our agenda, like now we have Logic Apps. So as I said, Logic Apps is your iPaaS offering where you can do your integration thing. You can orchestrate business process. You can connect to your SaaS or cloud applications, B2B application, and you can also connect to your on-premises application, which we'll see in next slides. I'll also talk about the architecture serverless in the next slide, mainly for. Okay, sorry. So I was talking about BizTalk server, Logic Apps. We have API management and service bus. So these are the Microsoft integration platform, and we are going to discuss here where this Logic Apps fits and all. So just for introduction, like BizTalk server, it is a Microsoft integration platform. Which is an on-premises integration platform where you can integrate on-premises LOB and you can also connect to your SaaS applications and all. You can automate your business process using workflow and orchestration actually, and it supports latest Microsoft platforms and all. So this is about your BizTalk server, which is an on-premises thing. Now we have Logic Apps on the other hand, and the next table you can see. So Logic Apps, as I said, it is a Microsoft iPaaS integration platform, means integration platform as a service thing, which Microsoft is focusing right now, and it is a serverless compute, and it has auto scaling, fully managed services. We don't have to worry about the scalability and management of servers and all those things. And the good part is it is a cloud thing, right? I mean, integration is on cloud. You can connect SaaS application, B2B applications, and of course on-premises applications also. You can leverage your Azure services at very high level. So Logic Apps is your iPaaS platform integration thing. So along with Logic Apps, you will have to have API management and service bus also to do the integration and to provide an integration solution. So API management, as I said, for example, you get a request from your web or mobile thing. So you can use this API management. You will also use API apps to do the coding or connections and all in Logic Apps. And finally, you have service bus, like it is a bridge between your two systems, upstream system and downstream system. It is also a serverless thing. And this will be using for PubSub architecture to achieve your PubSub. It is similar to what we had in BizTalk, like we were using IBM MQ or Microsoft MQ, and in cloud services we have Q. The same purpose will be solved using service bus. So using service bus, you will be able to connect on premises and cloud particular thing. So this is at very high level. Do you have any questions on this particular slide?
Yeah, Rajiv, I have one question. You told that if you're going to use Logic Apps, so API management and service bus, so those two are so-called two add-ons. We need to basically understand these things before going to use our Logic App, right?
Yeah, correct. So this in the next slide, I'll be showing like how to get the complete solution, I mean integration solution. And not only this, you should be not worried about like people have saying like it is a myth like on-premises BizTalk will be over and all. So that is not right. So we'll be using these four components for your integration solution.
Okay, okay.
Any other questions? So I'll be moving to next slide. You can stop me and you can put a question in the note. I'll be able to answer that also. So again, let's focus on this logic apps and API apps. So as I said, logic apps will be using, and just to give a background, earlier we had, right now we also have on-premises BizTalk. So after that, Microsoft firstly developed BizTalk services, which was the first attempt to provide an integration solution for the cloud thing. But right now, Microsoft has deprecated that. But till that time, they have also. Okay, no problem. So, as I said, logic apps at very high level, it is an iPaaS platform offering. And now we have a designer thing where we can drag and drop and do a rapid application creation. And we have also done. So this is very high level for logic apps, and for API apps. Now this also will be using, in case in logic apps we have to do some custom coding and all, we will be using application API apps, and also for security and authentication purpose for external vendor we will be using API management and API apps. So this is what we have from Microsoft for integration platform, logic apps and API apps. Do you have any questions on this?
Yeah, so I have a question. In what scenario we need to use logic apps, and in what scenario we need to use API apps?
That case, we are advising them that okay, you go for Azure as a software as a service or platform as a service or infrastructure as a service. So it comes like a customer. First things come into the customer's mind is that pricing. So what is the pricing Microsoft provided? As because my understanding for this talk is that it comes with per core basis. So here for Azure, how the pricing is?
Yeah, sure. So very good question. Appreciate it. So first of all, we need to talk point to point. So just make it very clear. Azure is only a service which is like mainly we can say as a infrastructure as a service or platform as a service. It's not software as a service. We do have some another provider like a SaaS. So we can say Office 365 is an offering from Microsoft, which is a SaaS offering. And now coming back regarding the billings and all. So when we are doing infrastructure service, sorry to interrupt you. Hope we can see, and so Sadab, we are unable to hear you. So we can see your screen.
Yeah, Rajiv here.
Yeah, Rajiv, please continue. Amit, I will answer you later.
Yeah, sure. It's fine.
Okay, so I was moving to the next slide. We have already lost so much time, so I'll just try to recover this time. I'm moving from this logic apps to API apps, and let's go quickly and see where these things fits into the architecture.
Yeah, sounds good. Please continue.
Yeah. So here now, as I said, this is the Microsoft integration platform, and Microsoft is focusing on hybrid integration platform approach. As I said, BizTalk is not going to be over for the next coming years, maybe 5 to 10 years. So not to worry, whoever are core BizTalk developers. But one thing they have to understand, like in case the industry we know is moving to the cloud, and in case we have to understand where we have to use BizTalk and where we have to use logic apps. So the clear recommendation is, you can see the screen on the bottom side. We have a BizTalk and we have SAP, PeopleSoft, Siebel, and Oracle. What Microsoft and industry is saying, in case you are connecting mostly to the on-premises applications and legacy application, you please go ahead and use your BizTalk server. So this is the use case requirement for BizTalk. Next, in case you are going and using, you have to connect to cloud applications, SaaS application, B2B applications, third-party applications. Feel free to move to Logic Apps and move your industry to the cloud first, mobile first strategy. And sometimes, I mean, most of the time, organization will have to use BizTalk also. And if they are moving to the cloud, they can go ahead and use Logic Apps also. So now in the screen, you can see on the bottom part, the organization is using BizTalk to integrate their on-premises applications, LOB. You can see SQL, on-premises SQL, and they have connected to BizTalk. And after that, you can see there is one new term called as on-premises data gateway. So this on-premises data gateway is used to connect your on-premises applications to Logic Apps. And Logic Apps is used here. And on the right side, you can see Logic Apps can connect to cloud applications like, for example, Azure SQL, Office 365, Dynamics, Box, Twitter, and so on. And on the left side, you can see Logic Apps is also compatible and it has support for API management, of course, service bus, cognitive services, and machine learning. So this is at very high level, and the focus is on hybrid integration platform. So let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, Rajiv, as you said that when the integration is completely in the on-premises application, so that time the Microsoft suggesting to go for BizTalk, and when there is a SaaS services and cloud-based integration, so that time we need to go for Logic Apps. So so then what is the use here? Like when do we need to complete come with the on-premises data gateway and communication between the on-premises and Logic App applications?
Yeah, good question. So, for example, as you said, your organization has already this BizTalk, right? And you are doing integration. But for example, from BizTalk point of view, if we have to push some data from on-premises to cloud, maybe cloud storage, or if I say from on-premises data, you have to push data to, Dynamics CRM or even Azure storage, or maybe Dropbox or something. So what will be your approach? How you will handle this from BizTalk? Is there any possibilities to integrate to cloud or move the data to cloud?
Yeah, in the present scenario, if I don't have Logic Apps, if I want to communicate with Microsoft Dynamics CRM, so I can direct push using my Dynamics CRM services, or few, I believe there are few adapters available. So using that, I can directly push to them in the present scenario. Yeah,
fine, but see, now the focus is you have many adapters, connectors over there. Okay, so this is what you have features over here, like Logic Apps and all. You have multiple features over there, which will be not available in BizTalk. You will have to go with some other coding and some other approach we'll discuss in the coming slides. So that way you will have to move ahead with Logic Apps. And also, the most important thing, just to add on, cost will be an important factor, which we'll discuss after this demo is over. Cost will be a thing, and some other rapid application development will be there. You need no need to have your BizTalk server in place. You can go use and pay. So those features will come into the picture, which we'll discuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So we have covered.
Rajiv, sorry to interrupt Preyash here. So we do have a question which you have already explained, but just I will try to repeat the same question and give the same answer which you have already told. The question is from Baloji. The question is that can you please explain scenario where we need to go for hybrid integration, since when customer has already invested money on-premise BizTalk, why he need Logic Apps? So answer is already given by Rajiv. So basically he's trying to say that our customer has a lot of investment in BizTalk on-premise. Then his question is why to go with Logic Apps. So Rajiv already told that what will happen, probably we'll be having the multiple servers. On-premise, we will go ahead and on each of the servers we will be installing a Microsoft Data Management Gateway. And using this gateway, we will be sending a data to the logic apps, and probably maybe having a requirement or will be having a workflow defined where we can go and have some workflow. As you know, workflow will be like you are going to have a different workflow for a different business logic, and that business logic we can go and filter the data and we can push it to the either it can go to the SQL server, Azure SQL v12, or it can go to the Office 365 or any of the Azure storage. So hope I answered Balaji. And Rajiv or Sadab, do you want to add something if I missed it?
No, fine. So I'll say, for example, to a previous question, I'm talking about the use case. I'm going to the next slide.
Yeah, please continue.
Okay, so now here you can see one screen where I'm saying logic apps and BizTalk use cases. So as I said, there will be very less support. Like, for example, in BizTalk, Amit, do you have idea how many adapters you have right now built in for BizTalk?
Yeah, we have like line of business adapters, I believe plenty, like 15, 20 adapters are there, starting from file
No,
to SFTP.
total adapters in BizTalk on premises.
No, I don't have exact counts.
So I'll tell you, for logic apps and all, now we have complete total 180 plus connectors. So why the question was why logic apps? So it is because we are moving to the cloud first strategy, and as per the Microsoft roadmap after 2016, they have also included logic apps into this BizTalk so that you can connect, you can write your code, and you can connect to the cloud. So the focus is on cloud, as we know. And for example, you can see on the bottom side, if you have to deal with Azure workloads, you cannot simply go and use BizTalk on premises, and you cannot handle these Azure workloads. You have to use logic apps and cloud terms or cloud features to connect and deal with cloud integration. Also, you see the bottom two use cases I have written. If suppose you have to move files and you have to from a FTP server and you have to store in Azure storage. So in this particular case, connectors are there, and using logic apps, you can do this work very easily, whereas you will struggle doing BizTalk. And also, for example, do you have any idea, like if you have to connect to Twitter, how you will handle or how you will do from BizTalk? I think I've not seen any feature in BizTalk connecting with the Twitter, but yes, you can do. But what Microsoft is doing right now, the first release for any features is on logic apps. They are first releasing any connectors or adapters for logic apps, and then followed by BizTalk. So that's what we are saying. In these particular scenarios, of course, you will go and use logic apps, which will be there, and so on. Any questions? So you can ask me in this particular context, use case.
No.
Yeah, Rajiv, probably we do not have any question. Please go to the next slide.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yes, Sadam, we cannot hear you properly.
Let's come.
Yeah.
Triggering a mail to our mail ID. So these are the terms which you will be seeing in the logic apps when designing the logic apps. First is the workflow. So workflow is nothing, it's orchestration, like a flow which will be using multiple connectors and triggers and actions which will be using inside your workflow to run your logic app. Second is connector. Connector is nothing which you'll be trying to connect with the any application. Like if you want to connect to Twitter, so you have to use a Twitter connector. If you want to use a Facebook, then you have to use a Facebook connector. If you want to use a FTP, then you have to be using. Similarly, you will be having a trigger. So trigger is another thing, like on any connector. If you are getting any trigger, like
on like Twitter, if we'll get any tweet, so that is a one trigger for you. In the file adapter, like if any file is posted. So those are the triggers which we'll be using inside our workflow. Another thing, action. Action based on the triggers which will be taking any action. So that will be action, like what you want to do after that. So also we have in Logic App, there are so many predefined templates which is provided by Logic Apps, so that you can use it and you can reduce your effort of development. Another thing is Enterprise Integration Pack. So this is the one of the different tool other than Logic Apps which is provided. So you can connect with Logic App, that Enterprise Integration tool, and then you can use like a schema, XML, map. So that will be a second level of Logic Apps which will be using with the Enterprise Integration Pack, and that will help you to use your EDI and XML and XSD and those terms which will be using further. So today I'm not going to cover the Enterprise Integration Pack. Today I'll be showing you a simple demo to read a tweet and trigger a mail. So these terms we'll be seeing in our demo. So any question?
Just to add on, this workflow is nothing but your orchestration which we used to have in Beanstalk, and connectors is like adapters which we used to have in Beanstalk, and some other terms are there, triggers and all, which are new.
Okay. So moving to the other slide, this is the Logic App component. So first, which you will be able to see our connectors which is available in the Logic App, like if we have the SQL database connector, FTP connectors, SFTP connector, box connector, GitHub connector. So there are hundreds of connectors available to connect with Facebook, Yammer. So first two images, it's the same, its representation is different. So connector you have a protocols like HTTP, HTTPS, file, FTP. So those protocols are available. Also, we can connect with the Beanstalk services. So we have the Logic App adapter, which will have, as you already covered, that through the on-premises Beanstalk services, you can connect to your Logic App and then you can use it. So the first last image which is there, that is showing the workflow. So the workflow is, I told you, nothing. It's a trigger and action and what you have to do, the workflow. So it's similar orchestration view which you can see. So what you have to do after that, it's completely the workflow. Bottom left image which shows you the action, like it's a kind of action which has a search here, Logic App, and then Logic App you have the action Logic App, choose a Logic App workflow. So from the one Logic App you can connect to another Logic App also. So that you can do it like which you do with the orchestration and those things, like you want to connect to another orchestration which you want to trigger the another orchestration parallelly, so that you can do it here. So these are kind of actions which is available. So the middle one in image shows the template. So template is nothing, it helps you reduce your work. So already some templates are available, like first of the, you can see the when a file is dropped in the Dropbox, copy to OneDrive. So you don't have to go and create some triggers. You don't have to go and create events. So directly you can choose a template and you just connect with your username, password, and then you can follow it by the development and you can deploy and run the application. So that will minimize your development effort. Last image which shows that Microsoft Operation Management Suite. So that is nothing. It's, you can see a visual graphical format for your logs and those representation which you can see. So that we'll see in the demo. Or these things will be coming in the demo. So I'll be covering those part in the demo itself. And see, this is the prerequisite which we have, that Logic App development, you must have the Azure subscription. So you can go ahead and create Azure subscription. So I think already Piyush has covered in the previous demos. So you can directly go and search Azure subscription. You can create a free trial for 1 month and then you can have the Azure subscription with you. So without that, you can't do anything in the cloud. Second thing, this is not mandatory. If you want to do a development, Logic App development with the Visual Studio, so that you can do it. So that is not mandatory, but yes, if you want to do some big development that takes time and you want to do on Visual Studio, so that you can save it and you can come back tomorrow and you can do the development, and for 1 month and 2 months that development you can do in Visual Studio. So the minimum requirement which we have, that you should have a Visual Studio 2017 or Visual Studio 2015. So if you have Visual Studio 2017, so you'll be having a Microsoft Azure SDK inbuilt in the 2017. Once your installation is done for the 2017, so you'll be popped up for the Azure SDK installation, so you can install that. If you are having 2015, so you have to separately install a Microsoft SDK for .NET Visual Studio 2015, and then you will be installing Azure Logic.
So
which we'll be having for the Logic App development. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, please continue.
Any question?
No, please continue, Sadar. Sadar, we cannot hear you. Sorry for that.
This is the ARM portal which we have, so it's loading system. So we'll go to the portal.azure.com and we'll log in with our Microsoft account. So after providing the password, it will be loading a portal page. So first page which you will be seeing, that is a dashboard, which you'll be seeing here. Okay, now I have to go and develop a logic app. How we can go and create a logic app? So first option which will be there, and logic app here. The another option, you can click on new, come to the enterprise integration, and you have logic option. You go on the search box, you can type logic app, you will get here logic app. Fourth option which you want to add in the favorite option, you can go to the more services and you can search here logic app, and you can put a star mark so that it will be added to your favorites. So these are the options which you can go to the logic app portal in the ARM, logic app in the ARM portal. So I have added here, so you can click on logic app, and you can click on add. So once you click on add, hope you guys have found out, this is called Blade, and once the Blade is open, so you can type a name here, so that is logic app name which you'll be creating inside your subscription. So I am creating a Twitter logic app, so I'm giving a name of Twitter. So we are ahead of the time, so sorry for inconvenience, guy. So there's a subscription which I am selecting here, so that I have a Visual Studio Dev Essential subscription, and then you can type a resource group name here. I am giving a resource group name as RG Twitter Logic App, and I'll be selecting here location as South India because this is nearer to me. So I'll be So this is the log analytics, which gives you the feature. So to create a log, so you have to create an OM workspace that will be similar to a portal. You can see all the transaction over there, and you can monitor your application. So as of now, I am putting it off. You can pin to drop dashboard, so it will be attached to your dashboard, so that it will be easy to access the logic app. And then go ahead and create it. So it takes some time, and you'll be getting a message here. So deployment is in process. Yes, it's ready now. So how we can go ahead? First, you can go to the all resources. You can see here logic app. Another thing, I have created a resource group. As I told you, resource group is a logical container of your resources, so you can group it together. So I'm going in the resource group, and then inside we have the logic app. So click on the logic app. It opens up by default a logic app designer, because we have not yet designed the logic app, so it's open a logic app designer for me. You can see here there is a common triggers are available. So trigger, I told you, you can pick any Twitter. So when a tweet appears, so that is a trigger for Twitter. So when HTTP request receive. So these are the triggers available. Here you have the blank template, so you can go ahead and create you as per your requirement. Here I told you, as there are so many templates are available, so you can go and use any of the template. So like this is the template which I'm going to use. Email yourself new tweet about a certain keyword via Outlook. So this is the template which I'm going to use today. Similarly, we have so many templates available here. So you can use any template which suits to your requirement. So let's go ahead and create a Twitter. So this is the email yourself a new tweets about the certain keywords via Outlook. So you use this template. So if you want to read about more connector, you can click on connector. So it opens a URL where you can read multiple connectors available in the logic app. So this is the very good like Microsoft documents available here. So you can go ahead and read this. So this integration account will be covering in the next topic. It's a very interesting topic which you'll be seeing in the next. So see this, the benefit of the template which I have selected here. So I have already Twitter and Outlook. So what is this? This is the connector to the Twitter and connector to the Outlook. So first I'll click on sign in. So this asking for the username password of Twitter to authorize our logic app to access our Twitter. This is nothing, it's connecting the api.twitter.com and it's authorizing the Twitter account with our logic app. So I have to authorize it. It takes some time, and once it's authorized, it will say in the green color. And you have to authorize your Outlook also. So I'll be using my Outlook account. So I'll be using my Hotmail email ID. So once both is connected, so the continue button is active now. So both the connectors are now okay for me. So I can go ahead and design my workflow. So once you click on continue, this is the called workflow. And this is our when a new tweet appears. So this is our trigger for that Twitter connector. So I want to check any Twitter which comes with the Azure. Any person who writes tweet hashtag Azure. So I want that tweet to my inbox. So this is the another event which you have, like getting users. So you can add, you can change, modify as per your requirement. If you want to add action, go ahead and type action. So you have see here the form as per your requirement. I don't want to do anything as of now. So this is the hashtag Azure, then get user, and then I want to send mail. Send mail to my email ID. and then you can edit your mail. You can change your subject, you can change your body. So let me change my body. So I am typing here, I want the location for the person who is tweeting here. So I'll go ahead, and you have the option here to select the location. So you can modify your body accordingly, and you can modify your subject, new tweet from so and so, any person name which will be coming to me. So this is my email ID which I'm triggering. So my email will be triggered from my Hotmail email, and it will be going to the Gmail. And you have the advanced option also. You can specify BCC, CC, attachments. So all these are available. What format you want to do, HTML format, yes, no. So those you can do, and you just click. You can add next step also. After this, what you want to do, you can do that. Okay. So I'll go and save it. Once you save it, the logic app will be saved, and then you have to click on run to execute this logic app to work with that. So once you run this, if you refresh it, you will be seeing here some logs will be appearing here. So you can go in the logic app designer again, and you can see your logic app here. You can see the code view. That will be nothing, this JSON format, which will be having, and those things. I'm just waiting any tweets comes here. So also I want to see show you one thing by the time. So this is the resource group. Once you go on the resource group, now you can see the logic app. Also you have the API connector for Outlook and Twitter. Your logic apps to connect with the Outlook and Twitter. So these features are already available here, so that see what's that. Travel is 3 minutes. Twitter. Successfully checked. Now it's success looks like. Yes, I can see here there are some tweets are coming here. So if I go here, I can see the tweet descriptions. So somebody has posted the tweets, and see here, let me see my Gmail account. There are some tweets are coming here. This is the from my mail ID, and this is getting triggered from my Hotmail, and it's coming to my Gmail account. And whatever it's hashtag with Azure, new tweet from dynamic tips, hashtag Azure. So this is the location I have added newly. So this is the friend which that guy is having, followers they are having. So again, this is the tweet from this guy, and you have this hashtag Azure. Wherever you will get the hashtag Azure, you will get the mail trigger to your mailbox, and can click it and go to your link, and then you can see here, this is the, again JSON format, all the messages are available here. And this is what the use which we have the templates. I think any questions? Oh, it's fine.
Sadab, Lalit here.
Yeah, Lalit, tell me.
So, sorry, I just joined lately due to some. So, as per my understanding, so those logical apps being used for
Lalit Preyash, sorry to
the
interrupt.
organizations which wanted to understand and realize the business purposes, like who has how many followers or what are the product details. Either we can integrate the Power BI as well.
So understand from you is you are asking like what are the components you will be using and any cloud native applications, and then you can do your work over here.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Rajiv.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Any another question?
One thing I would like to give answer, like Amit was asking for the cost, right?
Yes, please.
So there is no upfront cost, and the architecture here is serverless architecture. Both your logic apps and your functions are based on host, and is using like for the component you have to pay this Twitter and Outlook. So that time there is no amount you have to pay. But in case there is one action like number of tweets are coming and it is getting executed, then
So probably your voice is
so
having.
that's all.
So the prayers here. So Rajiv, probably your voice is having a lot of echoes. So could you please go ahead and check your mute or try to rectify it?
Is it fine?
No, it is. It's not at all good. Sorry for that.
It's fine now. It is fine now.
Yeah, please continue. Yes.
This is one of the great features of cost, and you have to pay for what you are using. And it is very minimum. I mean, as you asked this particular question, now you don't have to need take all these server licenses and all, and so that is one of the feature. Yeah. Any other questions?
So Rajiv, what I understood that this is completely action-based pricing. Suppose as a customer, I have to go for a certain website in my web application. Then gathering this functionality, I'll go to a expert who has knowledge in like in Azure or how. So then they decide that what would be the possible pricing will come looking into these actions, right?
Yeah, correct. This is one example when you are using these templates and actions. On the basis of action, you have to do the pricing. Similar thing, once we'll move to the next session, we'll see the workflow. In workflow also, it depends on the pricing. The pricing in such a way, like, for example, yes, no. So if so to answer, you are right. Basis of action, execute.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but there are other. This is a very high level, but there are other things also. In case you have to use enterprise integration account for some integration work, using Bstock and all. So for that you have to take an account, and it has some charge over it. So you can go to this pricing details logic app, the number 4 URL, and you can find all these details.
Okay, okay.
So Amit,
Hello, Rajiv, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Lalit?
No, I'm Managubin speaking.
yeah, so could you please be louder, Manogovin?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just looking into the demo, and that actually I saw that that subscription, it is some Visual Studio Essential, some subscription is there. So do we need to take that subscription here? Because I'm totally new to this subscription part, because I don't know, because we have a free account and there is something different subscription is there. So the same subscription will work for this one also, Logic Apps, which we are having now.
You can take any subscription and you can use, but the only thing is you should have that admin rights, or you should have the access of the resource to deploy this application. So you can take anything, essentials or 1 month free, or your enterprise account as well.
Yeah, we have now currently having 1 month free account. So
So you can, yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, Manogovinda, we cannot hear you. Sorry, we are unable to hear the question. This is Preyash here.
So
Yeah, you can do that.
the same.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Rajiv, I believe one of our audience one question in the chat window, from Nitin, saying that can we create dashboards with the data we have received from the Twitter for analyzing the data?
Yeah, the answer is yes. Right now you can see a basic screen where you can see the status of your messages, what messages has been sent and all. So this is at very basic level. But you saw once we are creating this Logic Apps application, there was an option to create a OMS, right? So OMS is your analytics things. You can use log analytics, and for this you have to use a workspace in the screen. If you want some sophisticated analytics sort of dashboard, if you want to create with some other features, you can also go ahead and use log analytics. For that you have to
So how it without the data, create a dashboard, right? Or sort of like a presentation we can make.
Yeah, correct. So this is all about message. You saw like
once you are connecting to the Twitter, it is asking for the like validation, like you are allowing this logic access or Twitter that you already allowed. And once you go and see, you are also configuring like what you want. Like you want Twitter account, you want your message, the body, so the information you are fetching, right? So you can see some also some other criteria. You want to create some other dashboard. You can also connect apart from log analytics. You can also go and connect with BI as well. Now you can see these messages are coming, created, time, Azure functions. So those things are already over here in output body in JSON format.
Okay, okay.
So Amit, this is Preyash here. Am I audible?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So Amit has asked a question that how we can see the billing is done in SaaS, PaaS, or IaaS. So I was trying to say in Azure we do not have any SaaS offering. We do have a Microsoft offering that is called Office 365, which is a SaaS product. So no doubt normally in the SaaS product we will be paying the user based license. So what type of user base you have taken it, number of users or type of user licensing you have taken it, you have to pay on that. So this is one of the answer for the SaaS based. Now coming back to the PaaS, platform as a service. So for most of the service we need to go ahead and we need to have into the scaling, we need to handle it. Probably it can be horizontal or vertical, that we can refer over the sessions which I have taken it, session 4 and session 5. Session 4 and 5 we have taken it, where we have discussed about the scaling part. So no doubt always money is important, that is the reason we do go to the Azure part. Now coming back to our logic apps, which is a serverless architecture, where whatever that you are going to consume you have to pay it. We don't need to handle it. That is the meaning of serverless architecture. It does have a server, but we don't need to manage the server. We don't need to handle the scalability of it. What is the service you are going to use, the number of the base or the consumption of the CPU which you have, you are going to pay on that. So this is the way a PaaS is handled. Now going back to infrastructure service. So whatever you are going to have a service, you have server you have got, and what all the facility you are using it infrastructure service, we need to go ahead and pay on that. Definitely we do have a service called Cloud Advisor, where they go ahead and give a suggestion to you that probably whatever you have used it may not be correct, and they can give you a better suggestion to go ahead and apply it. So that is the answer. So Amit, did I really answer your question, or do you have any other question?
Yeah, Preyash, thank you. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I understood.
Amit and Preyash, just to add on, there is again a flavor like serverless is fine. It is also a stateless, but we have very less time. I mean, we'll keep this open for our next session and we can discuss. So what is, why it is a stateless and how we'll be handling bespoke stuff. Like you will be worried like there is no admin console over here. How you'll be submitting the messages and all. So we can cover in options.
Okay. Thank you, Rajiv. Preyash.
Hi, Presh. This is Pawan. Can you hear me?
Yeah, please continue, Pawan.
Yeah. So question here is, we put ID and the password of Twitter and the Outlook. So in that case, I am compromising my Twitter and Outlook credentials. So for the security point of view, how we can secure these things? Because sometimes customers not ready to share his credentials to put into the open source. So how we can secure if we talk about the security points?
Yeah, so Pawan, this is Preyash, is a very good question. So, but if you see that different companies, they do have a different policies. So some of the companies, so when you're talking about the enterprise, some of the companies, they'll be having a very set up the rule that you cannot use the, probably I'm talking about the single sign-on, they will say you cannot use the Shibboleth for single sign-on, you cannot use the Ping Federate for single sign-on. So they'll be having their own thought process, they'll be having enterprise architecture team, they'll be having their own rule and regulation, or infosec team will be there, and they'll be having their own rule and regulation, they'll be having their own thought process. So definitely we need to adhere to it. We can definitely go ahead and try to convince them, but if it's not working, then we cannot do anything. Now coming back to your question, that your question is that when we are giving the Twitter account or we are giving the Gmail account, we are you're trying to say that we are having some security issue, right? So just to tell you that when we are going to web app, we are talking about, or we are talking about the logic apps and all, so they do have their inbuilt security over there, and they do have some understanding with the provider, which is identity provider, which can be, so we are talking about the web app, it can be Azure Active Directory, it can be a Gmail, it can be Twitter, it can be some Microsoft ID. So all this they are having inbuilt support, and they do have a synchronization or the tokenization into the place. So definitely we are not going to compromise with the security, because none of the company or the cloud provider, they will be having the security issue. And especially the investment, probably the Azure is they claim that they have around $1 billion they are spending on the security part, and they do have multiple features for the security for enabling they have it. So Pawan, did I really answer your question?
Thanks, Preyash.
Yeah, Preyash, just to add on, in logic apps context, the answer we can say is like we are using two things over here. Connectors we are using, right? Like for example, we were using Twitter connector. So these Twitter connectors are nothing like, but it is like allowing connectivity to a service. And each connector defines its own API, and it requires some information to be configured. For example, you need user credentials, which we saw when once we say Twitter connector, it takes us to the Twitter account, and it prompted the username and password, and it said, okay, are you going to, is your logic apps going to authorize to access your this one Twitter account? And you say yes, right? So you are only, I mean, as a user or customer, you are authorizing this particular part. And in the backend, what happens? Your this API connectors, it is using your OAuth, identity provider for generating a secure token and so on. So almost if you are using OAuth identity provider and all, your securities are not breached, right? So it is between your logic apps, which will be of course secured using OAuth, and your Twitter account. So the information will be tightly integrated and secured with this Twitter account and your logic apps component.
Awesome answer, Rajiv. So just one more query I have. Like, are there any way that we can encrypt the message or like while connecting to those things? Because don't think about the social media. Let's just take an example for an organization which has internal consumers, almost 10,000 or 15,000, or probably they will be hitting to their SQL database or some other database, and they wanted to, just through the connector, they just added few of the messages, something like that. Then if there would be a virus attack, or let's say whatever it is, then those things can be stopped somewhere at the point of the logical apps connector endpoints, or how we can secure and those major parts. Because it's been as what I understood, that it is collecting the data and showing in us to just analyze and understand the requirement of the business purposes and all, right?
Correct, right.
So in that point, I think so something would be there, because I think you can answer that.
Yeah, so just to be very frank, someone else can answer. I have not checked like for by default connectors how to encrypt your messages and all. But in the next demo, once we'll be covering this enterprise integration pack, where we'll be using our own schemas and messages and all. So there we have other concept, like the way we have in BizTalk, we can encode messages, and we can secure our messages. But of course, as you said, for these connectors, built-in connectors, definitely there will be some security and encryption facilities over there. If someone is aware, they can answer this.
No problem. Thanks, Rajiv. It's really nice, like honest answer.
Yeah, Lalit. So we'll go ahead and try to get the answer. We'll work on it, and we will post into our Azure development group. So do we have another question now?
Thanks, Preyash.
Yeah, so looks, we do not have any questions. So I would really, this is Preyash here. I will definitely thanks to the Rajiv for the wonderful presentations and Sada for the superb demo. And thanks everyone for the joining. So do we have any closing comment or the feedback for us to improve?
I think it's really, Rajiv. I have been not joining for a couple of sessions, but I just get a half an hour time, and it's really awesome. Awesome presentation by Rajiv and Sadab, and really like the answers you have given to us is really appreciated. Thanks for your heart.
Yeah, thank you, Rajiv, Preyash and Sadap. It was a really amazing session and definitely helpful in terms of learning Azure and Logic Apps. And thanks a lot to the team.
Yeah, thanks Amit. Thanks
Yeah,
Lalit.
thanks Preyash and Ajit for the lovely and fantastic sessions. And definitely, it's learning for everyone to learn new things in the Azure day by day with the help of training sessions or the tutors or the telegrams.
Yeah, thanks Pavan. So just to add it that whatever the session we are doing it, we try to best to do it at the beginner level and we try to take the session to the expert level. That is the motto which we have from our the development group. And going forward, if anyone is having any question, go ahead and post into our Azure development group and we will definitely try to help you as much as we can.
Sure, Presh.
Yeah, so hope it's good time to close the call. Am I right? Rajiv, Shadab, anything you want to add it? Yeah, thanks everyone. Bye. Good night. Good day.
Bye. Good night, Presh. Good night, Rajiv. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
So we'll be having a series of sessions for Logic Apps. So do join other sessions also to learn together. Thanks everyone. Bye.